High calling, heavy burden. Ambassadors of encouragement. Pastoral ministry is a high calling, but it's also a heavy burden. Every man who steps behind the pulpit knows the weight of preaching, counseling, leading, and shepherding. It's a work of eternal significance, yet it can also feel isolating, exhausting, and discouraging. Many pastors feel battle-worn, weary, wounded. The truth is, pastors need encouragement, and we want to be there to offer it. We're reaching out, representing Liberty Baptist Church in Republic, Washington, to equip, to support, and to remind pastors that they are not alone. Scripture is full of examples of older men strengthening those who followed after them. Moses had Joshua, Elijah had Elisha, Paul had Timothy. Paul told Timothy in 2 Timothy 1, verses 6 and 7, "Wherefore I put thee in remembrance that thou stir up the gift of God, which is in thee by the putting on of my hands. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." Timothy was a young preacher facing opposition and doubt and pressure. Paul didn't rebuke him. He encouraged him. He reminded him of his calling. He came alongside him. After 42 years of pastoral ministry, we want to do the same, to be a friend to a pastor in need. 6 ways we hope to encourage preachers. Number 1, to be a listening ear. No judgment, no lectures, just listening. Sometimes a pastor doesn't need advice. He just needs someone who understands to hear him out. And then number 2, offer guidance when asked. Mentorship doesn't have to be formal. Sometimes it's a simple word of wisdom when sought. Proverbs 20, verse 5 says, "Counsel in the heart of man is like deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out." A preacher may not need a flood of advice, just someone willing to walk with him as he finds the answers. Number 3, pray with him and for him. Simple, "Brother, I'm praying for you," can bring strength in ways we may never fully know. Number 4, drop in and hear him preach. Imagine the encouragement a young pastor feels when another preacher walks through the doors, not to critique him, but to support. Afterward, a few words of encouragement could strengthen his heart for weeks to come. Number 5, remind him of the big picture. Ministry isn't about numbers, popularity, or meeting impossible expectations. It's about faithfulness. A pastor's success isn't measured by crowd size, but by his commitment to the truth. Some studies show that 42% of pastors have considered quitting in the past year. And why? Well, emotional exhaustion, constantly pouring into others without refueling themselves, and isolation, no close relationships where they can be honest about their struggles, unrealistic expectations, the pressure to always be strong, always be available, always be right, and neglected health, sacrificing physical well-being for the sake of the work. So what can we do? Well, we want to reach out to pastors, visit them, invite them to lunch, send them a note of encouragement, let them know that someone cares. And we want to be intentional about encouragement. A kind word at the right time can make all the difference. I once received a note from a preacher halfway across the country, and all it said was, "I know it gets lonely. I'm praying for you." I kept that card in my desk for nearly 40 years. Number 3, we can pray for preachers by name and lift them up before the Lord and ask God to strengthen them and encourage them. And number 4, we can show up and support them, visit their church, hear them preach, and give them some hearty amens. It's our turn to encourage. Paul didn't leave Timothy to face ministry alone. Moses didn't expect Joshua to lead without guidance. Elijah didn't refuse Elisha when he sought to follow and learn. And now again, it's our turn. We believe in the local church and will continue to invest the majority of our time right here at home, spending as much as 3/4 of the year serving at Liberty Baptist Church. But when the need arises, we want to be ready and available to lift up the weary hands of a fellow laborer in the gospel. We're standing together with Liberty Baptist Church to be your ambassadors of encouragement.